right. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon. I'm Chris Chavez here for the 50th edition of the Nike Prefontaine Classic. It is shaping up to be potentially the best day in track and field. The best single day of action could be in store for us because there's so many Olympic medalists from Paris. There's so many star athletes who have already run crazy fast times this year. So we're set for some epic battles, potentially some world records that could also come from this weekend. We're talking the women's 5K with Beatrice Chibet. We're thinking about Faith Kipyegon in the 1500 as well. I mean, it's going to be stacked from start to finish. All the action starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and you can watch that from 10 to 1 p.m. on usatf.tv, and then from there, NBC and Peacock will pick things up, and you'll be able to watch it on NBC and Peacock, stream it, whatever you want. Tell a friend, maybe go to a bar and be able to watch this meet live with some people because it's going to be exciting from start to finish. This is I guess like my 4th or 5th year in a row at the Pre-Classic, but like it's a palpable hype that we've got. Mac and I are the only ones from our team out here. Mac, grab a mic and we can chat a little bit once he finishes setting up all of these different streams that we got. But over the next 90 or so minutes, we're going to have tons of guests. All of them actually have Olympic medals from last year. So I think the order, this is all subject to change, of course, because the press conference is happening as we speak. We've got some interviews taking place behind me, but we've got Jasmine Moore. We've got Bowerman Milestars, Cole Hocker, Yared Nuguse, Grant Fisher. Then we've got the lovely couple, Tara Davis-Woodhall and Hunter Woodall. Faith Kipyegon is stopping by. Joe Kovacs, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, Georgia Hunter-Bell, Jess Hull. I mean, this is going to be insane. Such a decorated lineup of people. And this is just a tiny piece of the fields that have been assembled here. Yesterday, there was already a press conference that took place. You had the likes of Athing Mo, Kashane Thompson. I was watching that guy do block starts this morning. And, I mean, I guess I'm okay with calling him the fastest man in the world right now. He's the world leader in the 100, and he's looking like the guy to beat later this year. But he'll be up against Trayvon Bermel. So I'm super excited. That's on the sprint side of things. The distance events are going to be locked and loaded. They actually made a change to the schedule yesterday officially, where they moved the Bowerman Mile up, and the meet is going to close out with the women's 1500, which is kind of really cool because, you know, that shows that both the meet organizers, Nike, which is probably like the biggest sponsor of this meet, are throwing a lot of weight behind the star power of Faith Kipyegon 1 week after she attempted to break 4 minutes for the mile and ended up running 4:06.91. And so I'm excited to see that because the day after they had a little press moment in Paris, and she said that it gave her the confidence that she could run under 3:49, which is currently the world record, 3:49.04, I believe. So super stoked about that. And speaking of Nike, going to knock out a couple of shout-outs. So we're going to start with, what's in this box? It's a nice leather box, and there's only 50 of these things. These are custom pairs of the Air Max ones. I think they're Air Max ones that have been made just for the 50th edition of the Prefontaine Classic. They will be available only at the retail space out here. So if you're in Eugene, you're going to want to get your hands on one of these. There's only 50 pairs of these things. They're in the gold, black, and white colorway that they've had for this 50th edition. They're super fresh. I know we were told that we have to return this pair after this, but maybe we make a run for it and walk away with these kicks, because I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if the resale value on these things is like $500 on like StockX. That's where people resell shoes, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the box itself from Will Leather Goods, really well done. So if you're in Eugene, you're going to want to get a pair of those. The other cool collaboration that they've put together for this is this huge blanket. Now, part of me thinks that it's like when we have the Bowerman Mile headliners here. It looks like I'm opening a pizza box, but I'm not. Is that maybe we cozy up under this beautiful blanket, which is a collaboration between Pendleton, Nike, and N7, which is Nike's initiative to back a lot of the indigenous communities. And I think proceeds from the purchases of these blankets will go towards a charity that benefits those indigenous communities. So look at this thing. It's got some good weight to it. Cozy. It's a little too warm for a blanket right now here, but if the Bowerman Mile fellas want to cozy up under this thing, we'll do it. But you can get this if you visit the Tracktown website or the Prefontaine Classic website. So get your hands on one of those, special edition just for the 50th edition of the Prefontaine Classic. They're pulling out all the stops, and I mean, if I'm looking around right now, like, it's a who's who of track and field. There's legends. I saw Bernard Lagat just a couple feet away. Alan Webb also in the house. Sometimes, like, your mind wonders, it's like, what could those guys have done against, like, these fields? And, like, you play that comparison game. It's a great, like, what if. But all the legends are here to celebrate what could be the best meet, single day meet in track. So super stoked for this weekend. Mac, are you doing okay over there? No, Mac is struggling with the setup, and he's trying to guess what? On Instagram. We'll get the stream up going on Instagram very shortly, but if you are new here, CITIUS Mag will be bringing you tons of coverage from all throughout the weekend. We're going to have, well, Mac's actually, like, breaking out the photo camera for the first time. He'll be on photo duty, so if the photos are a little iffy tomorrow, you know who to blame. I'll be back in the mix zone, getting lots of interviews, post-race interviews with athletes. So we're going to bring you wall-to-wall coverage of the Prefontaine Classic. And Mac, you're giving up on the Instagram stream? That's totally okay. All right, here, Mac, take this mic. Mac. And we might be joined by our first guest very shortly. All right, I guess our guest is going to be coming on very soon. But Mac, what are you looking forward to the most so far? What's the event? I guess, like, you're 15 King. You want to come on camera?
I guess everything's right there.
Oh, okay.
You can cozy up here.
Do you want the blanket? Should we cozy up under the blanket?
No, I don't. I don't know if that blanket.
We have to return it.
Yeah, I don't think we can purchase that blanket ourselves. What am I most excited for?
Yeah.
Bowerman Mile is going to be awesome.
Of course.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited to watch Mondo jump.
That's always good.
We've seen him set a couple world records in person. I wouldn't mind watching it happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see what sort of form Sha'carri's in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most excited for the overreactions come right after that race, because, like, she's not in peak form right now, so there's gonna just Twitter's gonna be awesome right after that race. But I'm excited to see her progress into Tokyo.
I hate to kick you off the couch, but we got our first guest.
Much better guest than me.
Yeah.
So all right, here we go.
Mac. All right, and now this is how it's gonna work. We're just gonna have rapid fire guests joining us all throughout the next 90 minutes, and we're joined now by our very first one, Jasmine Moore, the double Olympic bronze medalist from Paris. Jasmine,
hello.
What's it like being back in Eugene for the pre-classic?
It's been exciting. I guess it's been like over a year since we've been back, so great memories here, and I'm just excited to have fun.
You're doing the Road to Tracktown series as well, where people have been able to get a glimpse of what it's been like for you to prepare for, you know, not just this meet, but all of the meets throughout the season. I guess what's been the most fun part about kind of peeling back that curtain to that side of things for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot of self-reflection. This year so far hasn't been perfect, or at least the way I planned it in my head, but nothing goes that way. So it's been good to just kind of, you know, share my story, the highs and lows of track and field. And yeah, I'm just excited to like finish off strong and, just show the whole story.
Yeah. So I had Anna on the podcast right after, her heptathlon at Gotzi's, and I always bring up just sort of, because I love on Instagram stories when you guys share like the mood boards at the end of like 2020, at the end of the year, 2024. And so I don't remember seeing if you posted yours, but I'm curious, what is on the mood board for this year? Because it kind of does set kind of the tone for what you're looking for in 2025.
Yeah, so... Well, I guess outside of track, I'm in school, so that's obviously on the mood board studying. And then I really want to get another dog this year.
Okay.
And then for track-wise, I want a medal. I had so much fun in Paris, and I'm hungry for that again. So my goal is to medal again in the long and triple jump. But most importantly, in a month when we're back out here, is to make that team, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I guess like post-Olympics in Paris, like how much time did you give yourself to just like celebrate, revel in that moment, and then, kind of start to reassess of like, all right, now we got to start thinking about next year, and so can't just keep partying.
Yeah, it went by so fast. I mean, whenever you're celebrating with all your family, you're traveling to go see everyone, because everyone is so happy for you, of course, and then going back into practice basically like a month after,
Wow.
It starts off, I mean, like, it's not intense, but we're just moving our bodies, lifting again. So yeah, but ever since like Paris, I was like, I loved that feeling, and that's been on my mind. I daydream about it. I go to bed thinking about it. I pray about it. Like, that's really all I can think about.
Where do you keep the medals?
Honestly, in my nightstand.
Okay.
I need to find a better way. I just framed my jersey, my bib. I finally got around to doing that, but I need to find a more creative way to display the medals.
Yeah, so I mean, is there any feeling that comes over you? I guess like, I know it's not something that you look at every single day, but like, in the moments that you do get a peek at it, or you have to go to an event and present it, like what feelings come over you when you see the medals?
It's just a reminder that like, especially whenever, I'm not doing my best, that I'm capable of doing great things. And so that's kind of my reminder with the medals. It's like, I am good at this. I'm great at long jump. I'm great at triple jump. And although I might be struggling at practice or having a bad day, like, this is like who I am, and this is what I'm capable of.
When you look at where you are right now at this point in the season, and at like where you were a year ago, like what are some of the major differences that jump out at you in terms of just like the athlete that you are right now?
Yeah, my coach, Coach Nick and I, we always joke about in the triple jump, like leading up to Paris, like even we were practicing there, it was not looking good. Like that medal was a true shock. So we always joke like it's obviously the truth, but I'm in such a better position in the triple jump than I was leading up to Paris. And then whenever one's good, the other one's good. So I know long jump is good. I just got to put it all together. And whenever I'm peaked and I'm ready, my speed is better, I'm stronger. So I'm in a good position.
Let's go through some of like that outdoor progression that you've had so far in the triple jump, because I think I noticed like it's been season's best each time out. So what are you doing better each time out?
I think, 2 years ago when I was in college, I hurt my foot randomly, and for such a long time, that was such a big mental block for me, even last year. So now that I've finally gotten over that mental block, and I'm not scared to triple jump, I'm not scared for the pounding, that's like the main thing. And then my speed, my patience, those are like the main things. I haven't felt this good since, in college, when I was jumping really well. And then for long jump, the progression has just been working on the technique, the speed. I've been thankful to have Coach Holloway yell at me to, get my form together. And those are some of the main things that have been helpful.
Yeah, what does the speed work look like, I guess, for you?
Yeah, we get on the 1080 a lot. We do a lot of flies, 30s, 60, 90s, 120s. I kind of feel like we train a lot similar. I mean, thankfully, we're in Florida, and our whole pro group is together. So we kind of train similar in that aspect.
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to sitting down for like goal setting for the year, like it's Coach Nick, and then how is it also Coach Holloway? Like, how does that work? Because I know at UF, like there's just so many coaches, and like that's just a luxury that you guys have.
Yeah, definitely. I just work with Coach Nick most of the time, and then Coach Holloway, of course, sprinkles in his opinion here and there, and then Coach Matt, which is our strength coach. So I think everyone kind of knows how serious I am and how much I care. So everyone really knows my goals, but I do reiterate with them, like, this is exactly what I want to do, and make sure that we're all on the same page. And so everyone knows my goal is 157, and I want to keep aiming for those numbers.
Yeah, so how do we get there? Like, what would define success here at the Pre-Classic that, it's all stepping stones towards USA's, Tokyo, but I guess, like, how are you going about just, like, making those incremental marginal gains?
Yeah, I think a lot of it for me right now is mental. USA's, I know, is like, especially in the long jump, is going to be tough mentally, so making sure that I'm sharp. This meet, success would just be believing in myself the whole time. I know it sounds so simple, but of course, with any athlete, doubt comes in at times. But this whole week, I'm like, no, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to trust in myself. And so I just want to share that excitement and joy tomorrow. And yeah, just run. Honestly, if I just run down the runway and hit my foot off on that board, I'll fly. So
I have a silly question, I guess. It might be a dumb question. Pre-meet day for a meet that you're coming out for the long jump, different from pre-meet day for a triple jump? Or, like, how do those days look?
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like, today I just did jog and stride, and so jog and stride would be the same for long and triple jump. But if I, like, were to do approaches, of course, I would do, well, my approach is pretty similar, but of course I would do, like, my triple jump takeoff, or I would do, like, a couple of triple jump drills instead of long jump drills.
Yeah. Is there a switch in your head just kind of when it comes to just, like, both events, like one that you get more nervous for than the other?
No, I want to pass out when I'm doing both of them. I get super nervous, but I know if I'm not nervous, it's probably not going to be good. So the more nervous I am, even though it's more stressful, I'm like, okay, at least you care.
Love it. Well, we're wishing you the best of luck tomorrow, and then, of course, in the lead up to USA's, and then hopefully all the way through Tokyo. But congratulations so far on a really strong season, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jasmine.
Thank you.
What? I will be right back shortly with our next guest. I have the list somewhere, my little clipboard. Ugh. My next guest is going to be the Bowerman Mile Field. We got Cole Hocker, Yared Nuguse, and Grant Fisher. It should be in like 30 seconds. Where are these guys? Should be coming back soon, but we're having fun here. Live from the Prefontaine Classic. In between guests.
Yeah, we'll fill.
Mac
We can
is just
fill.
going to fill in and yap with me. All right, so the next guests we have are the Bowerman Mile headliners.
Three-
Cole Hocker, Yared Nuguse, Grant Fisher.
3 of the slowest 15 guys in the world right now, right?
There are 11 guys, last time I checked.
They suck.
That have broken 3:30, and it's neither of these guys.
They suck. What happened to our boys?
Well, let's get their thoughts on just exactly what's happening in the 1500 so far this season.
I'm kidding, by the way. They've been running slower tactical races. I don't want to ask you predictions right before they walk on, but what do you think happens? Okay, I'll ask this. What do you think the winning time is going to be?
Why are you so caught up on times, Mac?
Oh my God, you're so right. You're so right.
45.
5? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's something like that.
I think that
I'm only asking that
a little
because
bit windy.
I'm only
around 2 o'clock.
I'm only asking what do you think the winning time is, because I think that indicates who the winner is probably going to be.
We gotta kick you off.
And we gotta kick me off, right?
All right, let's bring on these guys. This is the most crowded this couch is gonna get all day. We've got Olympic champion Cole Hocker, Olympic bronze medalist Yared Nuguse, and double Olympic bronze medalist Grant Fisher.
Are we all in?
Yeah. Look at this 4x-mile we got. All right, guys. So big race tomorrow. What are the hopes and expectations for how this race goes? Because it's obviously one of the biggest events that people look forward to at this meet year in, year out. So Cole, I guess, like what are you looking forward to the most tomorrow?
I think it's obviously going to be paced fast, and it's going to be a quick race, but it's also one of those races that like you want to win a Prefontaine. So like obviously I'm just going for the win. Like, that's usually my game plan. But yeah, it's one of those races that it's like, yeah, you can time trial and be happy with a fast time, but like, it's like it has a reputation.
Yared, what about you? I mean, there's only one other guy in history who's won the Wanamaker and the Bowerman Mile in the same year, and so you've got a chance to try and claim that.
No, yeah, I feel like I love the mile so much more than the 1500, even though it's mostly the same. But I think, like the race is like, like you said, it's going to be fast. But I think, you don't want to be running fast by yourself. Like you kind of want other people there, like to be really like racing against someone as well. Because I think, when you race first, like then the times come later. None of us expected to run 3:27 at the Olympics, but like that's when it happened. So yeah, just like hopefully it's a good race. That's what we really want.
Wait, so do you guys also feel similarly? You guys prefer the mile over the 15, or are you a 15 over mile guy?
I like the 15. It's shorter.
Should do the longer the better, man. I mean, I'll take the mile over the 1600 over the 1500. The longer it goes, the better I am. So I'll take the mile.
Grant, how are you feeling for dipping your toes down into these guys like main event?
Yeah, it'll be fun. I really don't cross over and race this section of guys very often. People have been running really quick this year. There have been a lot of sub 330s already. And from a relative point of view, it's, we're probably halfway through the season. So people have been rolling. Hope to mix it up with that group, and it'll be fun. Yeah, I like to think I have pretty good range, so this will be a really good test of that. And maybe the guys will want to meet me at the 10K next. We can have a little back and forth, but we'll see.
No, never again.
So I pulled that stat like about a week ago, and I don't know if anyone else has broken 330 since then. It wouldn't shock me. But last year, 8 guys broke 330 for the 15. So far this year, it's at the end of June, it was like 11. What's happening in the 1500 right now? I mean, none of the top 4, I think, from Paris have broken 330. It's still somewhat early, but what do you when you're watching these races from home, like what are you seeing that's different this year than last year?
I don't know. You guys might have better thoughts on this, but I don't know. I think now people are just more inclined to just go for it. Like, just send it. Like, you set up a race to run 3:27. Like, I don't know. You're shooting for the stars. Or shoot for the moon, like whatever it is. And like you're gonna run a fast race anyways. Like I think people are just being more ambitious with like what the pace is, but I don't really know.
I think the difference is Jakob, him not being there. I think like there's this. I've always felt this way, that there's like a force field around him or something, where it's like people don't feel like that comfortable running with him. It's like me or Cole or Josh or something. When like I feel like people should be, because it's like, obviously he's extremely talented, but like you could at least like try to maintain that pace for a little bit. I think when you take him out of the equation, it's like, oh well, like we're all really talented, like why not just kind of go for it? And you have these deep races that are also like really crowded, all running under 330, and it's kind of cool to watch. But yeah.
Grant, have you made some of these observations, I guess, just of the 1500? I know it's not your main event, but I'm sure you're also noticing, like, this is wild.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Every year, and we know this intimately, like, it never gets easier. Even if you get more fit, everybody's getting more fit. And, 2 top guys might retire a year, but there's 10 new guys to take their place. So it gets harder every year, and there's more and more people pushing. And these races, if you set them up to run 3:28 and people commit to it, you're going to get some good results. So you might have people blow up, but you'll get good results. If you set races up for 3:33, you'll get 3:33. So people are, I think, not limiting themselves in the same way that maybe we used to. Watching the 1500 specifically, people train really, really hard, really consistently. And each year that's going to result in better and better performances. The shoes, of course, help that. I think just seeing how hard other people are training helps. And then when the bar is raised to, hey, I need to be in 3:27 shape to medal, 3:28 shape to medal, then that's what you train for. Same thing in the 5K. If we all are realizing, hey, we need to be in 12:40 shape to medal, then that's just what you train for. And some people make it and some people don't. It's the same thing in the NCAA. The NCAA marks are getting faster and faster and faster. And to make it to, a good example is NCAA indoor, where it's a descending order. Before it was like well, we need to run 3:57 to make it in the mile. So people would pace and train for 3:57. But now it's we need to run 3:53 to make it. So people train and pace for 3:53, and just kind of snowballs every year.
Yeah. So thinking about the race tomorrow, everyone's kind of expecting it to be fast. But what kind of race are you looking for? Like, and I don't want to put it out there, just sort of like predict like the final time. But what is going to make it so fast?
I mean, I think they've given us the pace, and
Yeah. What is it? It's
what is it? 151.5
Okay.
through 8, and then 219. So like, if you go, you're gonna run fast. Like, I think there's at least 3 of us that'll go with that. And yeah, like, I'm always like, I feel like geared towards the championships, and everyone is, of course, but I've never been one to, like, me and my coach, we don't put too much emphasis on these regular season races where obviously I'm fit and I want to do well, but I want to have my best race at Worlds and my second best race at USA's. So it's really like a test of fitness and then test of how good I am at racing right now. But it's like, to the utmost degree, like, you better be on your A game. So yeah, it's gonna be fast. I hope it's fast, and yeah, I want to keep it rolling as well.
Yeah, I guess because you brought up before, it'd be awesome to win, right? But at the same time, like, thinking even back to last year, we were what, like 6th or 7th last year, and so then there was all this progress that was made for USA's and obviously for the Olympics. So I mean, does it still feel like early in the season? We're less than a month away from USA's, but then so much time between now and Tokyo.
Yeah, I think it does. It feels like a long time since indoors, but then all of these races have been so spread out. Like, I feel like I haven't raced a ton, even though I've raced probably more so than any other pro year so far. But yeah, we have like such a long way to go. This season just set up so different. But yeah, I don't know how you guys feel.
No, yeah, honestly, it feels still very early. I think it's going to feel early till USA's happens, and I'm like, oh crap, it's like August already. But, you know, it's kind of exciting in that way because I feel like, you know, being able to kind of also peak at the very end of the season is going to feel just a lot better for just like, I don't know, like getting to where you want to be and knowing there's nothing else after.
Grant, what about you?
I mean, half this game is timing. You know, like, a lot of people can get fit, but to time it properly and have the proper combination of fitness needed to do well at the most important time, that's the big challenge. You know, it's not the workouts necessarily that are the secret. It's the timing of the workouts that lead you to the correct fitness at the correct time. So everyone's always trying to balance. You know, you don't want to get destroyed all year, you know, and then do well at the championship. Like, ideally, you do really well all year and do really well at the championship too. So it's a balancing game, but yeah, timing is everything in this sport. And you know, if you're in the shape of your life in April, you'd much rather be in the shape of your life in September this year. So it's a give and take thing. And no one, doesn't matter who you are, can be at the top of their game every day all year. You know, you have to peak, and that's the challenge.
One thing you brought up earlier was just sort of like, yes, there's the advances in tech that have made people faster, but then it's also just people training harder. Do all 3 of you feel like you're training harder this year? And how do you define that? Like, is it just the workouts are tougher, more mileage, like more volume? Like, what is making your training just year over year look different this time around?
I think everything, you know, it never comes like that much easier, but it feels a little more comfortable. You know, maybe your threshold paces are going up a little bit. Maybe key workouts that you've repeated in previous years are going a little better. Or maybe they aren't, you know, like I think track is a game of accumulation. Endurance competition is a game of accumulation. Life is a game of accumulation. Like, it's like, if you can stack really good days, if you can stack really good years, it builds. And I feel like we're all still young enough where we haven't quite hit the decline yet. Eventually that'll come for all of us, but right now it feels like you're just stacking. We're still stacking, and as I stack, like Yared is stacking, you know, everyone's stacking. So it gets harder and harder, and knowing that drives you to train a little harder. I know that what it took to win a medal last year, it's going to take a little more this year. What it'll take to win a medal this year, it'll be even harder in subsequent years. So you kind of always have to up the ante a little bit, and I'll do that, I guess, until the wheels come off.
Amazing. Well, I know you guys got to keep this going. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Best of luck tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute must-watch race, and go get some rest and put on a show tomorrow.
Sir,
Thanks, man.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. All right, that was Cole stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Still going. All right, we're going to bring on our next guest, and then our next guest after that is also still
He's
yapping
doing-
behind us.
Yapping. Do you see this guy? Can you even see him back there?
He's got quite the crowd behind him, too.
Actually does. I'm kind of like, I have to do my mom thing.
Proud wife.
He's so cute.
All right, so we've got Olympic gold medalist
Hey.
Tara Davis-Woodhall here.
Yep. That's
Pre-classic,
me.
back in Eugene. What are the feels coming back to this meet?
Oh man. The feels. I am like, did last year really happen? Oh my gosh. I'm excited. I mean, I got a new logo on my chest. I have a new support system backing me, and so I'm stoked to be, a Nike athlete at Prefontaine Classic. It's definitely different vibes. I mean, you get all the kits and caboodles when you're a Nike athlete here.
For sure. Has it been, now that you've been to a couple Diamond League stops so far this season, like the introduction at the start, Olympic champion Tara Davis-Woodhall, how's that felt like kind of as
Oh,
you're
man.
heading out onto the track?
So surreal. I mean, obviously a dream come true, right? But it's kind of, allowed me to have no more pressure on my chest. Just now, like, I have done everything someone, wants to do in this sport, and now I get to just be me and just go see how far I can actually jump.
Yeah. One thing I think when we chatted, I think a couple weeks ago, all right, finally joins us. Hunter.
I'm usually the one that's late.
Hunter, you got quite the crowd there. Does it feel like a palpable excitement like around this pre-classic, especially with the addition of just like a lot of the para events?
I sure hope so, man. And I'm thinking about it, and like this Diamond League, like I was looking through the people racing, like it's one of the most stacked meets of the year. Like this is incredible. And I feel like having these para races, it kind of like breaks up that excitement and gives somebody, it's like a spectacle, right? It's like so interesting. Like you watch all these amputees line up, you watch these like wheelchairs line up, it's like a dang chariot race. It's like something that like breaks up the action, keeps it exciting, teaches you a little something. So I think it's really great, and I feel really grateful for how much like excitement and love people have kind of like expressed for it.
And then I guess it levels up in a couple weeks when both national championships are going to be held together. I guess I asked you guys a couple months back when we did a quick podcast together, but to share it for the people who are tuning in now, I guess like when you guys heard that announcement, like what was the excitement like at your guys' house when?
My gosh. Our house was erupted in excitement. I mean, to know that we get to go to the same track meet and not have to go separate for trials or separate for anything anymore, it's really inspiring for, us personally. I mean, we train together every single day, but for the generation to come, the future generation. And para athletes deserve their platform as well. I think people kind of think of it as like a charity, a Special Olympics. No, guys, it's not. It's not. These are athletes who are, maybe just been disabled, they're blind, they're paralyzed, they're amputees. It's like they're doing the same thing that we're doing. And I'm lucky enough to see Hunter train every single day, and he's training just as hard as any other able athlete there is.
Hunter, I guess what's your recommendation for people as to like where they should start, right, when it comes to just like educating themselves around like a lot of the events and learning who the key athletes are?
Man, I think people put too many I don't want there to be eggshells in this sport. So like come as you are. Like I don't think you need to like feel like you're walking on eggshells or feel like you need to know everything. Like just come and be open and learn as you go, and like find what excites you and find what is interesting to you about the sport and like look into it, So I don't think there's any rules. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do it. I mean, I think that's what's cool about the Paralympics is it is so like convoluted and messed up and like just like different, you know what I mean? So I feel like the Paralympics is the last place that we should be like deciding who should come and how they should be when they get there. So come as you are, like enjoy what you want to enjoy. At the end of the day, like it's just sport, you know, it's just athletics. So
Go watch the Paralympics TikTok.
yeah.
The TikTok, the paras are it's
off the
unhinged,
chain.
but you will learn.
Yeah.
You will see all the different categories and different people that are in the sport, for sure.
You guys captivated so many people on social media last year, you know, around the Olympics and the Paralympics. But I'm so curious, like the morning of each other's competition, like what are those hours like in terms of just how nervous you are? Because you're not in the village with them and you weren't with her. So I want to hear just sort of before we saw all the viral clips, those particular mornings, how nervous were you? Even the night before, sleeping wise.
Well,
I guess you went first, yeah.
Well, we didn't stay in the village.
yeah,
Other than
we
the
stayed
first couple days.
Yeah, we stayed in the village for like a week, and then we got our own Airbnb just to be able to be with each other, be able to, kind of have a home base. And what was your feelings like as
All right, so night before she's competing, what's going through your head?
Well, the night before she was competing, because the long jump is split up into 2 days. So you have the prelim day, and she jumped so well that day. Like we were like on cloud 9. Like all her biggest competitors were taking like 3 jumps to make it into the finals for the next day. Tara jumped 1 time, biggest jump of the day, and like packed up her stuff and left. Like she was off the track before they even finished the first round. So I feel like we went into that night and the next day just like so positive, and we had such a, I don't know, speak for yourself, but such a confidence in the preparation that we had done leading up to it. It was like, I mean, whatever happens is going to happen, but we're ready to go.
I mean, you guys saw trials and how trials went. So that was one of the hardest competitions of my entire life. So for me to be able to go in with all the confidence I had, I was like, all right, let's just do it. Woke up that morning even more excited, was so ready to just get out there and compete, be in front of the crowd again. Like it was just like blue balled almost when I was like trying to go out there and I got to only jump 1 time. And I was like, no, I want to jump more. And so, yeah, that excitement was there and I was like ready to just go out there and compete. And then competition day comes up. Yeah, there's a little bit of nerves, but having your support system and the confidence around you, telling you like, oh, you look really good. Like that is what you need in the warm-up area. Like you look really good. You look fast. You look ready. And so I was like, well, if my team says I look ready, I'm ready.
All right, then how are you the night before his race?
Well, we had the 100 and the first time, and I knew when he woke up, it wasn't the spunky hunter that I remember, so I'm trying to like get him to get going. And so he finally got to run the 100. He did the 100 the next day or a couple days later. The 400 happened, and the difference of attitudes of when he woke up, I was like, oh, he's ready. And I knew as soon as he opened his eyes that morning, he was ready. And I think he could say the same thing, that you were ready for it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like the 100 is like a fun event for me. Like I enjoy running it. But the 400 is like, that's my bread and butter. That's what I was prepared for. So I felt like when I woke up, I had a confidence of like, all right, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Like, let's go handle business. So it was fun. Both days we were like bumping music, dancing in the room.
But I was in shambles in the stands, okay? I was absolutely losing it. I had no control. Someone snitched on me saying I was in the warm-up area when I wasn't supposed to be. So that like really even messed me up. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to go like right in the middle of his warm-up. And I was like, I love you, baby. Good luck. He's like, I'm fine. Like just go. I'm like, okay. And like wiping my tears. I'm like in the stands with his family and all of them are asking me questions. And I'm like, leave me alone. But it was great. He won, and it was great.
All right, so one thing you said before Hunter came over was just sort of that now the pressure's off, right? Like
Yeah.
you guys have the gold medals, and you guys can have fun. So tomorrow, like, what's going to make this meet fun for you guys?
I mean, it's a sold-out stadium. That's huge. For Prefontaine, for Eugene, like, that is a massive, and we've been posting on social media and getting the comments saying that they're coming here to watch us. They're coming here to watch paras. Like, that's what gets me excited. Like, our whole goal is to change track and field, to bring eyes and awareness to the sport, and for these people to say that they've traveled X, Y, and Z to come and watch Prefontaine Classic. Like, hello? That's sick.
We met some people this morning from New Orleans who came just to watch us race. So, like, that is fun. Like, there's nothing you need to add to that to make it fun. I would say if there's anything, it's like now being signed with Nike, being here, going into the gifting suite, getting all the cool gear, like being a part of, you know, the Pre-family, the Nike family, like it does make the Pre-experience different.
Little bit better.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
We'll let you get to that athlete lounge and everything and just get into all the goodies. But best of luck tomorrow. And I know you guys always put on a show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Perfect.
Chris.
Tune in tomorrow. Watch us do it.
On NBC and Peacock.
Off all the plugs. I love it. Yeah. All right.
It's our job.
Our next guest is also waiting in the wings. Joe Kovacs. I spot him. Thanks to the Woodhalls for popping by.
You're welcome.
I'm about to look tiny on this couch. Mac, I think you could signal to him we're good and ready for him. He's next, right? Or actually, I see 210 to 220 actually has Faith Kipyegon on the schedule, so I think she might be coming by soon. Either Faith, but I see Joe.
Yeah, Faith will be here in 2 minutes. If you guys want to chat with Joe in the meantime.
Well, we'll get Joe after Faith. Yeah, because he's on the schedule. We want to stay on schedule. This has been fun so far. Just rapid fire with all these top stars. Joe's waiting in the wings for his interview, but we're live right now.
This is just like the temporary one.
Yeah. Joe's live. He'll be on as a guest after Faith. Yeah. Doing all the funny faces behind me.
Everybody listening right now, some really corny questions. Everybody listening, come with some corny questions that Chris can ask me.
Have your dad jokes gotten better with the kids?
Oh, nobody laughs at them. So I'm waiting. The kids are 2.5 now. So like they're getting to the point now that, you know, talking, understanding. Because like Ashley for sure won't laugh. But like, I'm primed. I'm ready to go. I just need my audience. So
there we go. You're going to have a live audience shortly.
No pressure now. So that's good.
All right. We'll catch up with Joe in a little bit. A little bit of context on Faith Kipyegon, who will be joining us shortly. She's a week removed from running 4:06 in the mile in a sub 4-minute mile attempt that took place in Paris. Nike's big Breaking 4 race. It was a lot of fun to watch. She absolutely went for it, splitting off 60-second laps for the first 3, and then after that it was 66 on the last one. That's when it'll get you. But it was emotional, I would say. I had friends of mine texting me how moved they were by just Faith taking on all of that pressure and that spotlight and having to try and perform. And I think regardless of what the time on the clock was, she certainly inspired thousands and thousands of people around the world. And very shortly, she'll be joining us here, CITIUS Mac live from the Prefontaine Classic. Keeping an eye out for her. Should be coming by soon. I had the pleasure of chit-chatting with Faith in Kenya in 2023. Got to visit the camp. I don't know if she remembers me from that, but I did ask her her favorite artist at the time, and it was Rihanna. But then at the Breaking 4 attempt, she came out to Sha'carri's Waka Waka, This Is for Africa, an amazing song. This will definitely be less pressure than the spotlight that was Breaking 4. And I'm excited. She should be coming soon. I see a lot of people moving around. This is honestly like, it's crazy, like all the different athletes. Sydney McLaughlin Lavroni is like 10 feet away from me right now. They got Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, who's also going to be joining us at 2:40 p.m. Pacific time. This has been well, we're not off schedule. We're just waiting on Faith. Lots and lots of stars all around. Honestly, like, there's enough athletes here that you could just like pluck someone who wasn't even on our schedule, and they might like come and chat and kill like 5 minutes with us. I can always give Mac a mic too. Mac, you want this one? Mac is joining me as we wait for our triple Olympic champion.
We have
Kipyegon.
pretty good luck whenever I sit down, the athlete actually shows up. So.
Oh wait, Faith's coming. So now you're out.
Is she actually?
Mac.
Oh, here we
Yeah.
go. Perfect. It worked.
It worked. Okay.
All right, we have. Hi, Faith.
Perfect. We'll bring on triple Olympic gold medalist, world record holder,
Oh, thank you.
Faith Kipyegon.
Hi.
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's been a crazy week for you, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, especially the last one.
Yeah.
The
All right.
last 1 week.
After last week,
Yeah.
how much has is it a weight off your shoulders? Just sort of like the pressure. Now you get to just race normal.
I'm actually happy to be back on Diamond League circuit after, preparing for something special after last week. So I'm really grateful that I'm back to Diamond League circuit.
What was the hardest part about preparing for breaking forward? Because everyone thinks it's sort of like you just start in world record shape, but you're the last world record for the mile was 2 years ago, and you had to get back there and then do something you never did before. So that sounds hard.
Oh, it was hard. I can say I can say that it was really hard, but it was really nice experience, and I really thank Nike for giving me opportunity to dare and try. Our limits only limits in our mind, so it's in our mind, so we can just go there and just know that we are limitless in everything we do.
What was the biggest thing you learned from the race? Because I mean, the splits were crazy, and you went for it, but in the execution of it, what did you learn from that time trial that you can apply now to regular races?
Actually, I learned a lot. I saw that the 4 mile barrier is between us. I think it's around us. It's a matter of when, because ladies are running fast now, and I thought that it's possible. It's something one day, one time it will be there. I said earlier that if it will not be me, it will be someone else one day. But I've learned a lot. I know my coach was there, my team was there, so we are going back to the drawing board and learn from that race, and I think we will make it right, and hopefully one day, one time, we will get it.
The next day in Paris, you said that the splits and the times gave you confidence that you could run under 3:49. They changed the schedule here. Now you got the Pacers and everything like that. So, do you feel do you have that potential this weekend?
To be honest, I just want to, run my race here and just enjoy being back to Diamond League circuit, and as well, this is my first 1500 of the season, and it will feel so great if I will run a wallet. But I'm going to run my race and see what will happen after finish line. But I'm looking forward for a beautiful race.
Nike put so much spotlight on you, and everyone tuned in and watch. The video clips of the race last week are everywhere, and I also see the reaction videos of women crying and fans crying because of what you did to inspire them last week. Have you taken a moment to see some of that stuff, and what does it do for you emotionally when you see oh my gosh, I made someone cry?
I watch many times. I'm also on TikTok, so I watch many people were watching, and I'm so happy that I've inspired so many women. Even before the start of that race, many people were crying, and I was I was happy that I was not seeing them crying. I was, I watched after. So it was so emotional as well for me to come and watch how many people were watching around the world, and it felt so, it was really amazing. I do appreciate everyone who watched. That was really amazing. Yeah.
Faith, you are amazing, and we appreciate you for everything that you do to just inspire so many people around the world. And I think tomorrow you'll also run a beautiful race. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was running the 1,500 meters tomorrow here at the Pre-Classic, the last event of the day. And now we're going to bring on another guy with 3 Olympic medals.
This couch is screaming because it just had Faith on it, and now it's just like, all right. There's 3 Faiths on here now on this side.
Oh
so.
my gosh!
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is just like there's the iconic photo from when we did our show in our backyard with Tunde and me and Kyle sitting next to him, and we look absolutely tiny. And so I can't wait to see just how small I look on the couch right now.
Yeah, he had to go switch these to Panorama now because it got a little bit. Couch got a little bit wider, so.
Joe Kovacs in the house. Joe, I guess, how are we feeling so far? At this point, it's early on in the season for you. Like,
yep.
You took a big training trip out to Hawaii, and I feel like it's always methodical with you and Ashley as to how you go about structuring your year. So where are we at right now?
Yeah, Hawaii was awesome. Definitely that set me up well. I had a little tweak with a tricep, which wasn't really a big deal other than I had to go to some meets. And that's that's part of the sport. You got to get paid and you got to try. And honestly, I felt I was recovered, but I missed a lot of reps. So the first, if you call it half of the season, was probably underwhelming. But I did 3 back and forth round trips to Europe in 30 days. So my airline status is going to be pretty good this year.
You need that for the Twins.
Yes, for sure. I need those upgrades coming next year. So I want that United 1K. But yeah, going to Europe 3 times round trips, and that you got to expect what you can expect with results, and definitely lower than I'd hoped for. But also, it's all kind of part of the process, and I think learned some things along the way. Then this meet has been on the calendar of this is kind of the changing the guard. This is the gears are going to start moving. August is when it really picks up with USA's, all the Diamond Leagues, and then, of course, in September. So it's a season where you have to be strategic and make sure you're ready to have it at the end.
Even in 2019, I remember when you and I first spoke about just that World Championships, you centered on just the central nervous system and how important it is to just sort of how you get up for these big events and not exhausting it before you even get to the meet. And I feel like last year, just sort of by the time Paris rolled around, it was a fight.
Yeah.
And you had to go through those peaks at the trials, and then also I'm sure the adrenaline rush that was Paris. So how do you go about looking at this year, knowing that it's all the way in September, to kind of stay checked in on that side of things?
Yeah, I think having the late season. Last time we had one super late was Doha, so that worked out pretty well in my favor. But having it where it's at, I think you just gotta be reverent to what actually counts. For me, I always work my way backwards. Nobody's going to really ask you. Not to talk down to a Diamond League, but nobody's going to be hey, you won that Diamond League last year. But they're going to remember if you have a medal. They're going to remember if you won the world. So you got to make sure you're checking off the boxes of all the things that are the most important and work your way back from there. That's what we've been trying to do with my training. I think there'll be a good result tomorrow, and I think it's going to just kind of propel forward the rest of the season. But that's what I kind of have to set up with this meet, and then of course bring it back here a month later when we come back for USA's.
Are you stronger this year?
Stronger. The dad strength is kicking in.
Okay.
That is a real thing. Dad strength. The stomach might be a little bit wider, but yeah, definitely stronger. Stronger's there. Maybe more tired too because the kids are now running, so that means I'm running after them too. But strength is the strength is going good.
So in terms of just your technical approach to this year, is there anything that's different? You've been in the game for so long now.
Yeah.
You've had years where you've changed a couple things up.
Yeah, always trying to change and tweak and learn from, and technique-wise, my biggest thing is I've said this whole my career, you can't do it the same. You can't just copy and paste oh, I won World Championships in 2015, so I'm going to copy and paste it, do it in 2016. It doesn't work like that because emotionally, you're going to be announced as a world champion for the rest of your career because of that. There's a different layer, but also the structure, your body, factors, now being 36 and having kids and how we're doing life, you can't do it the same, but you got to keep evolving. And there's probably 90% of what we do is the same, but we spend 90% of the time working on the other 10%.
I remember one thing that you mentioned once to me was just sort of like every Olympic cycle, right? Like it's, and the way it's gone for you, like it'd be an easy way to just kind of like, all right, that's it. Like another medal, another world championships. Like you seem to hit it at the championships and can put that exclamation to your career. But then this time around, like now with the next one being a home Olympics, like it's hard to not set that sort of as the finish line. But this after Paris, I guess, like, you mentioned your age, like, but what is it that just like hit that fire that you're like, you know what, I'm going to keep this going?
I think recognizing that there's not fire. And I think it's like part of it is saying that there's not the fire and excitement to like, oh, I can't wait to do this again. Because you've done this. I've done it so many times. So, but like there's sparks that come back, which I think that's important to realize. Like doing it this long, this is my 13th year as the pro in the circuit, my 12th Prefontaine. Wow. Like, so, I mean, out of the 50 years, I'm like, I've seen a bunch of these. But like, the sparks come back, but like there is ultimately a point where like I view this as a profession, as a job. It's a sales commission job. The same way a salesman would get a commission for selling something to do, I get a commission if I win this Diamond League tomorrow, right? So I have to view it as my job first, and then along the way, when you have those aha moments and things start clicking, and then the fire comes back because those sparks are starting to ignite. That's what we look forward to. But like, they're not going to be internally there right after the Paris Olympics, and you're just like, I don't want to see a shot put again.
Yeah, so how long did you go after Paris?
Well, and that's the hardest thing, too. I mean, I'll tell you guys, like, the end of last season, the Olympic hangover for everybody, and I saw not just myself, but, like, the sprinting events and talked to Grant Holloway, these guys, like, as soon as they were done, and Grant won, but you could just tell he was exhausted. Everybody couldn't wait for the season to be done because there's such this high, and then there's drop-off, and then, like, people want to celebrate you, but by the time you go back home, like, football games are started. So, like, nobody actually wants to celebrate you because, like, there's 3 seasons of NFL already. There's such a gap, and I think just acknowledging that that's there and just regrouping and getting your priorities back straight with your family, that's what's important to me. And I think at this stage of my career, like, the fire of like, oh, in November, I'm not foaming at the mouth thinking of World Championships in Tokyo, but I realize it's my job, this is our plan, keep sticking to it, and then the sparks come back, and then hopefully this meet is a spark that ignites into August and goes all the way through Tokyo in September.
I want to see a wildfire from you like, come September. But Joe, thanks for stopping by to the CITIUS Mag live show from the Pre-Classic. I'm looking forward to what you've got in store tomorrow.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. The couch held up. All right, we'll see you, man.
Joe. All right, that was Joe Kovacs, 3-time Olympic silver medalist in the men's shot put. And I think we've got our next guest joining us. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden joining the show now, Olympic bronze medalist in the 100.
Hello.
And we've done so many sit-downs just through seeing you race all throughout the season so far. But Melissa, I guess what feels different about coming to the Pre-Classic?
Really, honestly, and truthfully, nothing.
That's good.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to make it a big race or anything or bigger than what it is. It's an exciting race, I will say that. But for me personally, I'm just doing the same thing I've been doing, focusing on my execution and going out there and listening to my coach.
So we had a month since Philly went last time out. What's been going well in training in this past month?
Me. Like listening to, so my coach always has this thing now, like, obviously we're all fast, but when it comes to the big races and the things that need to be done, it's going to come down to the little things. So we've been focusing on the little things, and I feel like it's not all the way quite there, but we're getting there. And it's like going to be right in time for, obviously this race, U.S. trials, and then on to Tokyo. So I'm excited to see if I've been cleaning up the little things.
When people see kind of like the graphics and the announcements of just sort of like, oh, we got an Olympic rematch of the podium from Paris. How do you think about it in a race? Is it like, oh, I get like a do-over, but then it's also like people are at different points in their season. So how do you look at the race knowing that you're up against the same people that you raced in Paris?
Right. So crazy enough, I have looked at the Olympic race and I've looked at Pre-Classic from last year probably at least 100 times for each race.
Wow.
Separately. So, and when I look at myself last year, I look at a girl who she has all the potential. She just didn't have the strength. And that was me, starting off the year with injury and just, I like to look at it like this. I'm excited to see what the healthy Melissa can do. Melissa last year, she had the heart, which is why she was able to accomplish the things that she did. No matter where her body was physically, she knew mentally that she could still get the job done. And so with my physical and my mental being together, the sky's the limit. And I will not lie, and I'm excited. I am very excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love this mentality that you've brought to just every single race. Like, what is it that you do just like off the track to like keep that in check?
Just being Melissa, I'm a girl. I don't really like to do a lot. I like to hang out with my family and my friends. I like to play the game a lot. And y'all don't get on me because I was really supposed to be streaming by now, but we gonna get there, okay? We gonna get there. But really just, not trying to make, I have one of the greatest jobs in the world. I get to travel the world. I get to race against the best of the best. And really just not letting that get to my head. And just figuring out ways to still be like a normal person.
If you told the Melissa that was at this meet last year, just sort of like what would happen in the year since, like, would she be totally surprised, or like what would she say?
She'd be like, all right, bet, let's do it. That's literally how it would be. Because it's like all of this that's happening right now, I knew it could happen. And it's like now I'm getting to the point to where the things that I do and the way I approach things, it's a surprise to everyone else, but not to me. Just because of, I've sat down, I've wrote down all these goals. I know the type of athlete that I want to be. I know the type of mark that I want to leave in this sport. And so now it's just all coming together.
It is, and it's been so special to watch just each time out, just how like it's building upon each race that you've had. So defining success tomorrow, obviously like a win would be amazing, but what else are you hoping to like accomplish and take away from this weekend?
More confidence, that at this point that is what it is. The execution is there, and just staying consistent with my execution. I know that if I execute, that I probably will win, and so I'm ready. Bring the fireworks. Happy 4th of July, but bring the fireworks. I'm ready. Let's go.
Fireworks on back-to-back days. I'm here for it. Melissa, thanks so much for stopping by. Best of luck tomorrow, and I'm excited to see just like, I don't know how much more confidence you could pack into this body, because like you are carrying that confidence just all throughout. But best of luck tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to everything you've got in store.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, Melissa Wooden, everybody.
See ya.
All right. Of course. Thank you. All right. Mac, I'm ready to run through a wall after that interview. She's definitely someone who has just had so much confidence all throughout the season. Hey, we'll bring on another special guest here. Everyone who stopped by has medals, but I feel like if we added them all up, probably not as much as you. Brittany Reese, welcome to the show. The pre-classic, what's it mean for you to be back?
It's always a good time coming out here, even whether I'm jumping, competing, or anything like that. It's just always a great time, always a great crowd. I'm looking forward to the competition tomorrow. I mean, the races are stacked. The field is stacked. Everything is stacked. So I'm glad to be here. I know. So in terms of just watching, even just like the long jump, like what kind of feelings come over you just like now that you have to just like take it in as a spectator? Do you still just sort of like get like nervous like watching some of these athletes? I do, but I'm just glad to watch them jump. I'm glad to see some big jumps. I feel like tomorrow's going to be electric. I think it's going to be a great meet right before USA's and like a little pre to see what everybody's got going on in the middle of the season. So I'm just happy for everybody, and I wanted to see some far jumps. What kind of pride came with watching the success Tara had, that Jasmine had last year, as someone who helped set the tone for American jumps? Yeah, I was ecstatic. We want to keep the medals in the United States. So, so anytime we get the win or we medal, it's always a big deal for us. So I was excited for those girls, and looking forward to see what they're young, and looking forward to see what their career and how it ends up. How's coaching going with you? Coaches has been going good. Had a couple of state champions, and the team was really, really advanced, and they got better progressing throughout the year. So got another year. We're going to be young now. So got to go back to the technical things, but I'm enjoying it. I guess like coming out here with Tracktown as an ambassador, you plug into just sort of when they have the kids clinics and all that kind of stuff. Like, what brings you back each time out? I just love being out here. Love the vibes, love the energy that comes with being in Hayward and being in Eugene. I just love coming out here and just being with the kids and things like that. Reminds me of going back home. I come and steal some of their ideas here and go back home and try to implement them back at home. So it's just always a great time when I come out here.
The itch to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
Is it real? Or
It's itching a little bit. It's itching a little bit. Just watching the competition and watching everything on TV. You know, being a spectator sometimes it has its ups and downs. But I'm like the door is cracked a little bit. So, but other than that, you know, I'm just enjoying being a spectator. I do stay around the track being a coach, so I don't show my kids nothing because I don't want to pull a hamstring or anything like that, but I do enjoy being around it.
When you are watching like these diamond leagues like on TV, like and you see these jumps, like are you yelling at your TV sometimes? Like I'm curious what that's like in your living room.
I think I more so get into a coach's mode.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, okay, she was wrong off of penultimate. She didn't run fast enough. That's why she fouled. You know, it's like certain things like that. I just get into a coaching mode. And I'm like, oh, that was a good jump. That was a good jump. You know, but I'm always going to root for my girls, Tara and Jasmine and Q and all the rest of the ladies, USA ladies, and just want to watch their success.
Awesome. Well, Brittany, thanks so much for stopping by, and looking forward to seeing you out in the stands tomorrow, also taking it all in, and continue all the great work that you're doing in the sport.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Brittany.
Thank you.
Brittany Reese, world champion, Olympic medalist. She's got it all. I think we're waiting on our last two guests. Time has honestly like flown by in doing all of this. Just rapid fire after rapid fire interviews. I think we've still got two more. We've got, at least according to my schedule, Georgia Hunter Bell, the Olympic bronze medalist in the 1500, and Jess Hull, the Olympic silver medalist in the 1500. Could be joining us soon. I saw them hanging around before, but yeah. All right, Mac, of the people that we've chatted to so far, who do you think is going to have the best day?
The best day? I mean, I'm with you. I wanted to run through a brick wall listening to Melissa talk.
It is really cool to just see sort of like how she's leveled up in front of everyone in a very public stage, and also in such a high profile event. Like there's no, like you said before, there's going to be overreactions and takes coming out of this weekend in the 100 as to like the person who wins can probably be called like the Tokyo favorite, but she's okay with all of it, embracing all of it.
Yeah, it's fascinating because every single one of these athletes, and especially the medalists, like they all have to be like a little psychotic. You have to think that you are untouchable and like, oh, goddamn near like God level.
Well, coming off a year where you medal, like it's almost sort of like that's the bar for like what people are now expecting.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's really cool to see them kind of like transcend into or elevate into that sort of like mental space of like no one on earth can touch me.
Yeah.
It's an insane mental place to be, and it's kind of fun to see them all in like this hotel lobby, and they all have to everyone has to interact with each other here. It's just huge egos bouncing off of each other.
Having the 3 mile stars, Grant, Yared, and Cole, it's so interesting to read their body language too.
Yeah,
Cole is very much in his lane, like just.
And he's always like that.
He's always like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Yared is to a degree as well, and Grant, like when those guys get on the starting line, like they want to kill each other, which is awesome. But obviously they play nice, doing media and whatnot.
Yeah, there's no team tactics, I think, between those 3 tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. There's no team tactics at all. No, tomorrow's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
So do you have a prediction? I know you asked me to give like a time prediction before that.
I think Yared's ready.
I think Yared's going to win it too.
I think that he has like a little bit more of a consistent ability to kick at the pace that the race is going to be run tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And he has the most experience doing that out of the Americans. But I mean, watching Habs run 3:27,
you can't overlook that guy.
leading the last 500 is the most important part of that, and the way that he squeezed that race. That's what all those guys have been thinking about. They definitely all took note of how he ran that race and how he won.
I think the Bowerman Mile will be interesting for so many reasons because like there's so many when you rewatch it 4 times afterwards. Like, you'll be able to pick up on a variety of different storylines. One, you want to see how real Habs is, like, against some of the big dogs, right? Like,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
everyone's running fast, like, okay, but, like, how's he going to do against, like, the best? And then the second part is a U.S. trials preview, right? Like, who's in contention there? Where are people at with less than a month to go until USA's? And then just also, like, the rest of the world. Like, a Jake Whiteman, who we were hanging out and talking with yesterday, like, there's the video that's online on YouTube from Long Run Lactic of just, like, the 1K, and that looked so controlled and smooth. And it's like, okay, Jake is in a really good spot, too.
Jake's in a great spot, and we love seeing Jake back healthy. When he was at the beginning of his career and I was near the end of mine, we were kind of on the same circuit, that nice little Tier 2 circuit. We had the same agent. So we traveled around Europe together for a couple summers. Love seeing him back and healthy. And, like, back in the game, I'm really curious to see how he runs. If he knocks, like, a quick one, I want to see him be competitive tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I want him to be a contender come Tokyo.
You're not getting away with it. What is your prediction for tomorrow? You said Yared.
I think Yared wins it. I think it's 3:45.
Yeah, I think it's a 3:45 race.
And
Something about it just doesn't tell me, like, the world record is going down.
And
that's okay.
And also
I
a
think
lot
it'll
of
be a really good race.
And think of the travel for everyone coming over from Europe. Like, the Americans have a huge advantage in that way. Like, they flew across the world to be here. And they aren't used to the pollen count here. Who's second? I think it's Habs.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Third, Cole. Because here's the thing, it's like,
yeah, Cole's coming around. I think if
But
Cole,
if
even if he ends up
Cole's
5th or
tomorrow,
6th, it's not going to bother. It's not going to. There's the alarms are not going off.
It's exactly what
Yeah.
he said. It's sort of like, I mean, like, it's hard because, like, Nike athlete Duck, you want to win here, but the biggest performances come at USA's.
And this is, like, people were a little worried about it, I think, earlier in the season. Think of it, last year he ran that 5K at LA. He ran 12:57, 12:59, something like that, and he ended up winning Olympic gold in the 15. And a couple weeks ago he ran, 13:06, 13:05, something like that for 5K. So he's not far off from the fitness that he was last year. So I, again, wouldn't be shocked if he isn't, 5th, but by come USA's and then Tokyo, he's going to be absolutely fine.
Let me text Karen and see if we have any update on.
I think I see
Georgia. No, that's
Jess.
Oh, I see Jess. Okay,
Yeah,
Jess
so
is over
we
there.
got a couple minutes. They're at the this is what they call a car wash. It's really a hot word right now.
Well, also, it's like we dubbed this thing Radio Row, just like in the Super Bowl, where just sort of like people are like walking around. But when we were running this morning, you were just like, I really wish that it was more like Radio Row, where everyone's like plugging some sponsor.
What is it, like Bush's Baked Beans or like State Farm or
Yeah, here's Yared Nuguse with Tide Pods.
Exactly. I wish it was, because we would have fun with that.
Oh man, yeah, we would be eating Tide Pods and Bush's Baked Beans.
So we could do our own and just schlep Olipop the entire time.
That's true. Now that we've got a moment in people's attentions and people are still watching.
Speaking of a plug,
Olipop, the best prebiotic soda out there. Hold on, this thing is going to explode everywhere.
I'm sure that was a fun screenshot right there.
Here we go. Probably a nice little ASMR sound effect. I've got the Tropical Punch. It's one of my favorite flavors. Delicious. Use code CITIUS25 at drinkolipop.com for 25% off all your orders. They have these new variety packs. Some that are like the tropical ones, the classic flavors. So check that out if you haven't already done so. What is your favorite flavor?
I like the crisp apple. It's good. That's a little seasonal, but
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I like only having that in the fall. I like stay to like right now tropical. It's the summertime. Vintage cola, always a safe bet if you need a little caffeine boost. Ridge Rush.
Okay? Well, hold on. You don't get out of predictions. What do you think?
I think Yared wins and it's 3:45. So I'm with you.
You're right with that?
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. I did you notice he like piped up, like you kind of threw a question to all three of them, and then he was like, "I'm going to answer that one,"
Yeah,
or
I'm gonna
even
take
like
control
he
of this
jumped.
interview.
Yeah, I was trying to read body language in there, and
Yeah.
I like Yared in there.
Yeah. And Grant sounded smart as ever.
What else are you looking forward to?
What other events?
Yeah, what other events?
400, that is the non-Diamond League discipline, the women's 400. Sydney McLaughlin,
Just
Veroni,
make sure she's not running. I mean, she's breaking the American record, right? I don't see any other reason why she would run this race if she wasn't targeting the American record, because it's not a Diamond League race, and if she just needed to get a race in, she would have done some LA meet, which Bobby's group tends to do sometimes. So,
put on a show.
Yeah, I think she's here to put on a show, and she's really intentional about every single time she races. So there's a reason, and I think it's a safe distance away from USA's for her to like really send one. And I think we're looking at possibly a new American record.
I think so too.
What is it? 48.6? Something like that.
Yep. Sonny Richards-Ross, 2006.
Yep.
In Athens, I'm pretty sure.
It's held on for a long time.
Very long time. Would have turned 20 years old next year.
Yeah, it just shows how good that record is. I'm pumped to watch that race.
Yeah.
And not mess up the photos.
A lot of pressure on Mac tomorrow as he picks up a camera to oversee all of our photo coverage tomorrow. You got to channel your inner Jay-Z snaps and Justin Britton.
I know. I'm actually nervous because there are so many athletes, and then also I got to get on the infield and make sure I get Armando and Tara and everyone jumping, and
it's a lot for one person to handle.
I am legitimately nervous.
That's okay.
I'm praying that the Wi-Fi is good enough in there so I can send photos to our social team.
And we have we have an Ethernet cable if you need to plug in.
No, because I got the old phone.
That's true. What other events are you looking forward to? I mean, we have women's 1500. Faith is right behind us.
Women's 8.
Women's 8.
Yeah, Thing Mo
back in action and I guess like this will piggyback off of like people who have listened to This Week in Track and Field for now a couple months. Like when we talked about just sort of the odd nature and approach to this season, where it's just been like a little bit of exposure therapy each time out, right? Where it's like step one, put on the uniform, get back on the track and race, but drop out, whatever. That was the purpose of that 3K of the 5K. Then actually race an event that you could contest, 1500 at that D2 meet. Next step, let's get you in a pro setting. That was at Sound Running, run a season's best in the 15. And now it's like, all right, with a month of training, boom, back into the fire.
Yeah, and it's an absolutely loaded field that she has to compete against.
She needs the standard.
Which is
159.
159.
Very doable for her, of course.
Yeah, doable for her.
And with the field and the pace,
she'll get it tomorrow.
But it's a box to check with tomorrow's race.
I'm scared about the break. I wish. I mean, I guess she did race immediately after trials. She ran that. And then she also ran that American Track League race.
Yeah, that's the one in Gainesville.
That was the one in Gainesville. Okay, so I mean, at least she's kind of like ripped the Band-Aid off in that way. But I feel like so much time away from this level of competition is like terrifying because it's going to be. Think about it. It's got to be hard because the last time that she was on this track was when she went down. So she's going to be coming out of the break, and it's she's got 80 meters until where the fall happened, and who is going to be to her left is like Mary Mora, Duguma. Who else is in this?
Everyone.
Raven
Rogers.
Halima. Yeah, there's going to be just a pack of women. That's all right there. All right, let me get out of here.
You're getting kicked out now. All right, now we're going to bring on our next guest, Olympic bronze medalist, Georgia Hunter Bell.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going good, yeah. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here chatting with you a week after you were out in Paris. Now you're back at the pre-classic, so it's been a whirlwind, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. It was kind of nice. I felt like I had a little European summer break within the season because obviously it was a race, but it wasn't really a race in the traditional sense. So yeah, it was just a nice little stop in an amazing bit of history, and now we're back to it.
Yeah, so all in all, I guess like we've seen just so many videos of like how emotional people have gotten just
Yeah.
watching how inspirational that race was and everything. But you, as you know, a person who participated in it, and it's really cool because right, like you could technically say like Faith is a rival in your event, but you still chose to be part of it. Like what were the emotions and takeaways that you had from it?
Yeah, like when I heard about the event and Nike were like, would you want to be a part of it? I was like, yeah, I really would. I think that's just like such an iconic piece of history. Like I feel like if you got asked if you could pace Roger Bannister in the supplement,
yes.
you'd be like, okay, technically I'm against him, but like that's pretty cool to be a part of. So yeah, being there was just amazing. Like being there on that night in the stadium, like I felt like when we were all striding out, it was like we were going to battle for her. Like it was just cool, and yeah, just something different of many races.
So now you got to reframe your brain and be like, all right, it's time to get back
Yeah.
and actually race. So what are you hoping to get out of this weekend's 1500?
I think that it's at a point in the season where we now can run fast. Like the first few are definitely, like I really felt like Grand Slam was a real shock to the system. That first day I was like, oh, we're back. And then now it's like, okay, I've had a few opportunities to like blow off the cobwebs. So now it's time to go fast. I think more than anything though, I just want to place well tomorrow. Like it's such a good field that I think the time will naturally come, but I just think I need to treat it almost like a world final. Like the lineup could easily be a world final, and it's just practicing, racing. Yeah, that's kind of what I want out of it.
So I feel like I caught this in a mixed zone interview that you had recently, or like in one of somewhere that like you're up in the air when it comes to just sort of deciding if you're going all in on the 15 or the 8.
I kind of am. Like, so I'm going to do the 15 tomorrow at pre, and then I'm going to do the 8 in London. And then I think afterwards, me and Jen and Trev are going to have a chat and just decide, because they're like true 800 coaches. And then this past year when I've finally been pro, we've been really able to do the 800 training, and I feel like I'm making more leeway, is that the word?
Yeah.
More headway in the 8. So we'll look at like the raw times across the next couple of weeks. I mean, I know that the schedule does allow for a double at Worlds, but I also respect the challenge of how hard that would be. I don't know if you could do really well in the 8 if you have 3 really hard 1500s in your legs first. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Like I looked at Hobbs last year, and like it's really cool to make both finals, but I would definitely rather just medal in one.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm not saying also that's a guarantee at all, but I just think, yeah, it's not easy to do the double. Yeah.
So of these two races, so you've got the 15 here and then like the 800 in London. If both events are pleading for like, Georgia, pick me, right? Like what is it that the 1500 has to tell you tomorrow and the 800 has to tell you in London to sway you in one direction or the other?
I guess it's like, I think the field tomorrow is probably very accurate of what a world final field will be. So I guess it's like, depending on where I place there would be like, okay, where could you fall this season? I know we're only in July, but like, and September is still a long way to go. But also just like what I enjoy more. Like, I do think the 1500 is really hard, and the 800 is hard too. So I think, yeah, just going to go off, feel, and enjoy the races, and then we'll have some chats after that.
What were the results of the poll? I know you put it up like on your Instagram story of like which event is harder, or what was the exact?
I was just saying what's harder, the 15 or 8, and yeah, 1500 did win narrowly. I think it was like 53-47, something like that. Yeah, it was close.
Did anyone respond with like?
Yeah. Loads of people responded. It's like Nikki messaged and was like, "Oh my god, yeah, so much harder the 15." And then obviously all the 800 athletes were coming at me like, "No." I was like, "You guys don't do the 1500. Like, come on, it is hard." So yeah, we'll just see.
All right, so Georgia, we're looking forward to seeing you in action tomorrow. Best of luck in the race. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Now we've got one more guest for the day. We've got Olympic silver medalist Jess Hull joining. Jess, how many flights have you been on this year so far? Because like it's just been like we've met all over the world, right?
Yes.
Obviously, we had the 3 stops for Grand Slam, but then you went back to Australia. I feel like you've been all over.
Yes, I have traveled a lot this year. Luckily with Grand Slam, they traveled us in style, so didn't miss any training or anything, but it's actually been the last 2 months I've been in Flagstaff, so that was nice to just kind of get to the US, get settled in, know that I'd stay put until Prefontaine, and then we move on to Europe. So yeah, I've done a lot of travel this year, which I'm trying to slow it down now that we're in the thick of the season. Yeah.
What's been going well in Flagstaff in training?
If you asked me a month ago, I would say not much because it was quite challenging. Just being that high, I'd never kind of gone to altitude in flag, higher and drier than anywhere else in the world. But the last month, everything's been going really well. I kind of really hit my stride in Philadelphia. And then once I went back up for that next month, it's just been like really, really encouraging. So yeah, my speed is really, really good right now. My endurance hasn't been compromised. And I'm feeling really confident in that 1500 meter zone at like 61s, which I'm hearing is what we're running tomorrow. So we'll see what that looks like.
Wow. So yeah, that was one thing that Georgia just said, was that like now it feels like, all right, it's turned to that point in the season where it's like everyone's getting the green light to go fast.
Yeah.
And you sort of feel that, but I guess like even in Philly, like you were part of that race to make it fast then.
Yeah.
I guess what gave you the indication at that point in the season, it's like, all right, we can start to move the wheels a little bit faster?
Yeah, I think it's just timing this year, like with the late season. We delayed a few things in training that we know bring me on quite well, just because we had so much longer to work with. So I think we started sort of doing that in May, and I don't know that I really felt like it was working when I was at altitude, but coming down to Philly and getting that feedback of like, okay, like we're on the right path, going back and even fine-tuning again this last month, it's kind of looking at Prefontaine as like the starting point of this big next phase of the season. And we're the same sort of distance away from the Worlds as we were when we were here in May last year. We had about the same timeline to the Olympics. So it feels like over every event, everyone's like ready to start just putting some big performances out there and lighting it up. Yeah.
What are you looking for in tomorrow's races? Obviously with like, it being billed a little bit as like a faith world record attempt, but even just going back to some of the races, like you're so willing to stick your nose in it and just like be right there just to see, where the cards also land.
Yeah, I think just looking to be to get a bit further. Like I think in Paris last year I got to about 250 to go before things got a bit rocky. So just to get a bit further, just to execute well over that last 400, that's still a piece of my race I'm finding. I'm putting it together. I think there's a few little things that Dad wants to see, and he doesn't often kind of give me check marks, and he's kind of given me a couple of things that like we're working on for tomorrow. So yeah.
When the lineup came out for just like who's in this race, like obviously it's like reuniting the Paris Olympic podium like for the first time since the games, like, but when you look at all those names, like do you feel like if that Paris Olympic final had been run like 10 times, you could have had a variety of different outcomes? So tomorrow it's like how do you look at this field and think of it in comparison to that race?
Yeah, it's always different when it's a one-off race as well compared to the rounds in Paris. So I think it's just going to be interesting to see where everything falls with the first fast one of the year. I think there's going to be a few surprises. I think Nikki is ready to run very fast. At least like
you're in flag. You probably hear all the intel.
Yeah, we haven't overlapped a ton because we were on slightly different training schedules. But I just feel like they're ready for a big one. What that looks like, I'm not sure. I'm sure Nikki probably has more of an idea of that. But I feel like Nikki's ready to get a big piece of something. Same with Deribe Warteji. I think we saw her run so well in the final in Paris and just miss the podium. And I'm sure kind of gains a lot of confidence through the Grand Slam that I think now that she's got an opportunity to go fast, she's going to go very fast. Yeah.
And then after this, you got Monaco, right?
Yeah. So Monaco on Friday night, yeah.
What are you looking forward to there?
I'm running a 1K, so that's a bit different. And it's kind of been on our schedule since early January and was confirmed as a 1K the week we were in Jamaica. And it was like, perfect. So I'm just looking forward to putting all those 800 pieces together at a distance that's maybe a little more suited for me. That extra 200 is probably more in my wheelhouse, but basically going to need to look at like what I've been doing in those 800s. I need to still execute and have 200 to go. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to running very fast there. It's been a great track to me through my whole career, not just last year, but yeah, I'm excited to go back and run fast for Remy, and he's put a great field together. So yeah, it's not a bad gig to go from Eugene, Oregon to Monaco next week. So yeah.
More airline miles for you.
A few more, yeah.
Well, Jess, congratulations on all the success up until this point so far in the season. best of luck
Thank you.
tomorrow. It's been exciting each time out, and I'm sure tomorrow will be more fireworks and excitement.
Here's hoping. Thank you.
Awesome.
Enjoy the meet.
Yeah, thanks so much,
Thanks.
Jess. Mac, I think we made it through our whole slate of guests. Oh my goodness. Lots of yapping about track with some very, very, very successful people. All of those people with Olympic medals. I'm so motivated coming after, all that chatter. So a reminder to people, you can tune in and watch all of the action at the Prefontaine Classic at starting at 10 a.m. on usatf.tv. That'll go all the way through 1 o'clock Pacific time is what I'm referring to. And then at 1 o'clock, tune into NBC or Peacock and catch all of the Diamond League disciplines live. And I mean, we're going to see world records. We're going to see national records, personal bests, great races all around from start to finish. And we'll be bringing you interviews, updates, and so much more on all the CITIUS Mag channels. So thanks for tuning in and watching. And if you're listening to this in podcast form, this has been a blast. Radio Row here in Eugene, Oregon. So tomorrow, kick back, crack open an Olipop, and catch all of the action live from Eugene. I've been Chris Chavez. See you next time.